Hey, what's up guys, this is Anthony's Customs, and for this review, we are looking at the Marvel Legends Build-A-Figure Executioner. And I'm getting tired of reviewing Marvel Legends, but it's the beginning of the year and there's a lot of them available, and there's not a lot of everything else. I have other stuff coming too, though. And there's a long story behind that. I lost a whole box of a pile of loot from Big Bad Toy Store. Not like I misplaced it. It's a long story. Doesn't matter. Anyway, this is a Marvel Legends figure. We're reviewing it. A lot of people wanted to see it. It's still a popular line despite most of the figures being bad, so I'm okay still reviewing it. And I still want it to be a good line for my own personal selfish needs. I like Marvel characters for the most part, and I would like a good line of figures, and here's hoping Hasbro eventually does that. But this guy's not so bad. There's some good stuff about him. There's some bad stuff too, but we're going to talk about it. So let's go ahead and get him off the stand and take a closer look. Alright, before we look at the figure, I can't show you my package. I was told to stop. No, there's no package. He's a baff. So this guy's not available at Big Bad Toy Store unless you want to buy one of the worst waves of Marvel Legends ever. If so, I'll put a link in the description below, and you can do whatever you want with your own money. You're probably a grown adult. Alright, he stands about 20 centimeters to the top of the noggin. That's going to be about 7 3/4, give or take. Here he is up against Darwin. So he's big, but he's not that big. And I say that because he shouldn't be a Build-A-Figure. Ever since they started doing the small figures as Build-A-Figures, I think it just totally destroyed the whole purpose of the Build-A-Figure thing. Like, it used to be a way for them to sell more figures because we wanted to buy the part that was in the other figures to build something like Fin Fan Foom or something like that. I know I missed a G in there. Now we just have regular figures that should have been standard releases. So I think that sucks big time. But we do have Execution here, which is a thing people wanted, so we're going to review it. And let's get into it. Aesthetically speaking, some good stuff, some bad stuff. Love the paintwork they did on his little man skirt. That's very nice. I love that. That is the type of thing that brings an action figure to life. Unfortunately, they did it as a maximum paint job, which means it only is on the very front of the figure. It's nowhere else. You would just have glossy, the worst plastic ever. So yeah, just like the Maximum Hulk, they only put the paint on the front. They did paint all the little silver nubbins around, so that's nice. I mean, obviously they couldn't just not paint those, so they did. But that's that. They did the little fur thingies. Like, there's a little bit of paintwork going on. It's okay. It's fine. Otherwise, he just looks like a bland Marvel Legends figure. This is the only real shading on the figure, so it's like, yeah, what's the point? Now, the face does look really nice, I have to say. It has a touch of the too realistic thing going on, but because his face is not very realistic, it's super, like, Cro-Magnon, sort of. It works, I guess, other than the face still has far more detail than the rest of the body. I don't know who decided that was a good idea at Marvel Legends, in the Marvel Legends team, but it's not. The head should match the figures, the rest of the figure, but it is really nice. The detail work is wonderful. It's one of their best head sculpts and paint jobs that they have ever achieved, I believe. That is excellent. Love the head sculpt. The body, decent silhouette, but like I said, it still has those goofy, like, cartoonish details. We have a little bit of texturing in some of the clothing, and then glossy plastic for the rest, and no detail here at all because they're reused parts, I'm guessing. It's just a mishmash of design philosophies that don't really go together. Some texturing, some not texturing, all that kind of stuff. So it still just has that same feel of Marvel Legends being a lower end, inferior product, even for their own price point. I'm so tired of hearing they're supposed to be cheap. Like, yeah, they are supposed to be cheap. They're not cheap anymore. They're not cheap at all anymore. So they need to be better. They can't still be the crappy figure that's okay because it's cheap, because it's not cheap. But yeah, the silhouette's okay, other than it turns out Hasbro doesn't have just a thing going against them for making ladies' boobs the right size. They also have a problem making man boobs the right size. He has basically no pecs. Like, they're there, but they're very small and poorly placed, so it does change his look quite a bit. It throws everything off when they do that. He has a little bit more meat front to back, that's nice, but the pecs being so high up and the same size as the shoulders is just weird, so that throws it off a little bit. Most people probably won't notice. The only other thing I can think to mention, other than the glossy skin, is the way they sculpted the arms going into the sleeve. They couldn't come up with a better way than to just put a cylinder at the top of the bicep. There's no sculpt. It's not like shoulder sculpt up there. It's just a smooth cylinder to allow him to rotate his arm. It's the cheapest looking thing ever, I think. Probably. So, yeah, there's a lot that's going on that's decent, and then there's a lot that's really bad, and the only thing that's actually really good is the head. So That's unfortunate. So aesthetically, I will give him a 7 out of 10 for Marvel Legends. He's par for the course. Now, as far as accessories go, you do get his axe, which is nicely done. They made the handle out of rigid plastic, so I like that. And they painted the silver on there, which is gorgeous. I'm very happy with the axe. Needs a wash, but still looks really nice. And then you get 2 more hands, so only 1 gripping hand and only 1 fist hand. That blows. It should be standard that every character ever that could possibly be punching somebody gets 2 fist hands. And if they have something to hold, 2 gripping hands. And then you should also have the 2 relaxed hands, or whatever you want to call them. So 5 out of 10 for accessories. That's just not enough, especially for a Build-A-Figure. I hope I didn't miss any in one of the packages. Maybe there were more accessories than I should be reviewing. I don't know. Alright, articulation on this guy. Is he going to pose? I'm guessing not, but let's see. I haven't messed with him too much yet. They're still doing that. Oh, don't look up. Don't have him look up. They didn't. Ew. That's the grossest looking thing. He's got little dangly fleshy bits because they couldn't be bothered to paint the goatee properly. It looks great from the front, but if he looks up, it looks really weird really fast. So that sucks. So don't do that. But yeah, he just has a standard Marvel Legends neck, so it's the absolute bare minimum of articulation. Like, it's so old, outdated, and antiquated at this point. Standard shoulders, decent range. We already talked about this ugly bicep swivel that will swivel. Of course, this is connected all the way up here, so it'll swivel too. 90-degree bend, basically, just a touch over for the elbow. It'll probably do, but wrists have a swivel and a hinge. Gripping hand does have a vertical hinge. I'm so glad I kept arguing for that. I don't know if that's what made the difference or not, but for a long time we didn't get gripping hands with vertical hinges, and after I bitched about it enough, they finally did it. So I'm going to take some credit, and it makes me happy, and even if it's not my fault, I'm just happy they did it. So I love that. That's the right articulation for that. Let's see if his torso can torso. Can he lean back? He leans back all right. It's not really sculpted for it at all. Now, you're going to always get gaps if you have maximum range. He doesn't really have maximum range. I'm not using that as a funny way. I just meant it literally. Maximum figures don't have maximum range. His torso works pretty well. I will give that to him. I don't mind the gapping. Just don't go that far. And it works. Overall, the rotation works too. That's nice. Do we have anything under here? Nah, his torso is fixed. Lower torso. He can basically do the splits, though, if you don't mind looking at his glossy blue belt dangling. Or skirt. Let's see, going forward. Yeah, it's okay. They could have separated these a little bit more so that it looked better and worked better, but it's okay. Goes back just a little bit. Thigh swivel is going to thigh swivel. Double jointed knees are going to double jointed knee. Nothing in the boot. And for the ankles, they go back all right. They go forward all right. The ankle rocker is super steep with no boot swivel or ankle swivel. That's no good. Yeah, he's just your bare bones Marvel Legends articulation, honestly. The torso works well, but that's really it. Everything else is just as bog standard as it could possibly be for like 10 years ago. So, articulation's gonna get a 5 out of 10. He's gonna stand there and hold his axe, but doing anything dynamic, like, yeah, you can make, it's like, every time I say some figure doesn't have good articulation, like, I can pose him and make him look good. It's like, you can make a figure look better than the articulation is. But you can make a figure with good articulation look even better than that. You don't need to keep arguing, I can take a photo, or I've seen photos where he looks good. Like, yes, commercials have been doing that since forever. That doesn't mean the articulation's good. If it was good, you could do it even more. You wouldn't have to do fancy photos or weird foreshortening or whatever to make a figure look good. It's just, his articulation sucks because it's not there. There's articulation that's not there, and the stuff that is there doesn't work well. That's how that works. I'm not arguing whether or not you can make a figure look better than it is. That's almost always the case. You almost always can. Anyway, time for a final rating on this guy. It's a fine addition. If you wanted Executioner, you could have done a lot worse. It's fine. It's nothing special, though. I'll go 7 out of 10 overall rating. The head sculpt goes a long way, and it's just good enough. It's like, this should have been a standard release, even if it was $5 more because he's big and that's how they do things these days. It should have been a standard release. It's not a good Build-A-Figure. It's just a good enough Marvel Legends figure. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section below, but I'll be done there. So thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down. And if you haven't subscribed, you should. I have new videos just about every single day and thousands already on the channel. So make sure you come back for all of that. And in the meantime, keep collecting.